Hola, como está? In this episode, we made a lot of progress and ran into a few twists and turns. Will we choose a path of good or evil? Is communism the solution? SCab? Zip? So many questions, so few answers. Let's get into it and find our way.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
We begin the gameplay by talking with Measurehead, and we learned nothing. Nothing new, at least. He's still rambling about his race theory, and while his analysis and observations are interesting, he doesn't really add to the investigation other than a little world building and lore. But something more interesting popped up after we ended our conversation, which was a dialogue with our skills, which was rhetoric. Rhetoric brought up the rebuilding communism and mentioned we built it before and should try again. But we promptly shut him down, and logic backed us up, saying it was mathematically impossible to create a classless society, and then electrochemistry joined the party, but he only wanted some zip zip, as usual. Entering the harbor, we found ourselves in a small office where we found some flyers, some magnesium, a radio, and a payphone. Examining the payphone, our intuition was spiked, and we were led to believe that the deep in our memory resided a number to a place that has some information on our past self. It turns out our intuition was right, and we dialed the number to a video store where an employee picked up, but shut us down as he couldn't help us over the phone. After that, we entered the harbor, found our cloak, and other bits of evidence suggesting we'd been there before, but drunk, despair-ridden, and disoriented. After taking a trip down memory lane, we explored Renee's spigot-span workspace and borrowed a photo of him and his wife. And after taking a break, and taking a seat, and taking in the scenery, we found a little bit of zip zip. We then stumbled upon a mysterious container connected to a crane and brought it down. But to my dismay, it was locked. And then, we finally stumbled upon the big boss of the whole operation, Leo.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on. Container, used to be well pined. Container, now belongs to Everett. Everett, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there, how can I help you, mister? I see you're not a union man, mister.
Leo turned out to be a very interesting fellow. He's tasked with painting over the containers from the Wild Pines green to Union red for reasons unknown, but presumably as a power move to deal a blow to the Wild Pines' collective ego. He also informed us that there was a drunken incident involving a worker named Titus and his gang of friends. Due to that incident, Everett sent them on vacation. We'd assumed that the two guys had something to do with the murder. He also mentioned three other people: Mr. Edgar, who was Everett's brother, Miss Lizzie Buford, their lawyer, and Lamatoir, a doctor, who I think is pretty irrelevant, but I had to mention her name. We then met the real big boyo of the operation.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. A civilized manner as equals. Take a seat, I insist. Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions, one of which is that I will not engage any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave. Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man.
So tell me, how can the head of the Devarges Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
Big Boyo Everett put out his cojones and showed us who ran the town. He notified us that he had eyes everywhere and was aware of our current predicament. But luckily, after countless retries, we were successful in bluffing our well-being to save face and gain more leverage in the conversation. Although very little, as he has our gun, eyes all over the town, information about the lynching, and our files, which were leaked by a rat in the RCM. I couldn't quite decipher much about his personality or his true motives, but I do know that he has a hidden agenda, for better or worse. And we did learn that we didn't have a family. Our name is Harry Dubois. We live in Jamrock. Ultimately, he used all of his leverage to get us to do his dirty work, and now I have to open the door to someone's apartment. He then gave us a union key and declared that we were one of them.
Oh, hey, mister. I need to be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larisse said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And a lot of folks really did keep coming back.
On our way out of the harbor, we searched around the office space one more time and found a hidden away note that is currently indecipherable. And again, electrochemistry joined the chat looking for some zip.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
The philosophical Mañana gave us the key to the apartment and waxed philosophically about life and its meaning. But through that, he hinted at his knowing of what happened to the murdered mercenary by playing ignorant and saying in summary that they wouldn't commit murder unless they were pushed.
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here. Here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down? Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work. Right to work. Besides, we're not that different. It helps the people see us talking. Cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Maybe you should ask them the question. Like why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit. So do we, SCab.
The leader of the SCabs was interesting only in the fact that there was something off about his character. Like everybody, he seemed to be hiding something, and his clothes didn't fit, and his personal details were iffy. Other than that, I could say he was the least interesting to me in the game so far as a character. Can I help you? After speaking with the leader of the SCabs, we went and paid Old Guard a visit. and tried to pay our debts with a novelty check and were promptly denied, but we did gain the key to a trash container in the back.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
We then went to Frit, sold the novelty check, and bought and smoked some smokes, which increased our intellect by 1 and damaged our health by 1. In turn, we pissed off the Frit store clerk for smoking inside. We then went to the trash container and opened it. We found waste, the victim's clothes, and a clipboard with our paperwork. Strangely, oddly enough. After searching the container, we went over to the body, and I realized I missed a small detail around the corpse, which were some footprints, which we then analyzed. Analyzing the scene and bouncing deductions off of each other, we came to the conclusion that a group of people carried the body onto the tree, hanged it, stood around shuffling, and then left the scene. And one footprint in particular indicated that one of the group members was a driver, as his right shoe was worn compared to the left. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in episode 2, but down by the waterlock there was a little crash scene, so it might be connected to this case. We then knocked down Cuno's door to a secret hideout and came across a harrowing scene. A serial killer in the making, and sadly, Cuno's addicted to that zip. But one silver lining was that we found some magnesium and health. We then, to no avail, confronted Cuno about his hideout and zip use. And you know, electrochemistry was liking that conversation. Lastly, we went and did Everett's dirty work and opened the mysterious man's door. Explored a bit, but didn't really find anything but communist memorabilia. In conclusion, we got a lot done, and I have to say that this so far has been my favorite episode to record. I can see myself improving subtly, and I'm optimistic about the outlook of this channel and my development, and I can't wait to see how this game plays out. That being said, if you liked the video, leave a like, share with your friends, or comment, and if you didn't, leave some feedback in the comments. And adios.